Y'all may not know that, but that's my ace pastor right there.
Okay.
What? Well, no. Oh, she says I got to comb my hair. Make myself more presentable. Okay. Am I leading off?
Yeah. Governor, take it away.
Well, first of all, it's an honor to be here and with the great people that are saving our lives every day. And you know, without going into detail, a lot of times you're not appreciated or respected to the level that you should be. You're surely not compensated to the level that you should be, and your dedication and what you do for all of us from the bottom of my heart and from the extension of our state, you know, I thank you, and I mean that very sincerely. Now, we've got all kinds of issues today that we need to address. The biggest issue probably at hand that you know, and I surely know, that is cannibalizing us is the drug epidemic, and it's in every facet of our lives, and it attacks us whether we're rich, poor, black, white, whatever, and so we got to do something about it, don't we? And we've got to first and foremost support your efforts, because we can't have you out there with your hands tied behind your back and trying to figure out what to do and asking you to help us, because every time we get in trouble we start yelling help, help, you know, and it's nice to yell, but when you come, you got to come, I think, with a bigger stick. You know, that's why I'm proposing significantly stiffer penalties to those that you do haul in. I would not even be adverse to even stiffer penalties than I proposed. And I proposed going from 1 to 3 years, and because, you know, it makes me sick, to tell you the truth, just what's going on. Now, our state has lost a lot of its hope. And when you lose your hope because of despair or lack of the opportunities with jobs and so on like that, you can very quickly turn to things that you shouldn't. Then we've got a prescription drug epidemic that's right in front of us. Now we've got a heroin, of all things, epidemic that's cannibalizing us, just like what I've already said. We've got to figure out, we've got to do this. The first step is to support these great people and give them some level of hammer to be able to do their job and to do their job for all of us. I'll do that. I'll do that in every way that I possibly can. And I'll fight for you till the cows come home and then some. And so, now, I'm not a king. You know, I've got to get others to go along. And so you've got to help me in the effort and know that I'm with you. And this great secretary, Jeff Sandy, is with you. And we're here to try to tell you that any and everything we can do, we're going to do. Now, the next part of the process is just this, though. We've got to have treatment facilities. We've got to have a pathway to be able to get our people that are genuinely having a drug problem to be able to get back into being productive individuals. And we've got to help doing that, whether it be additional social workers or the building of treatment facilities, which I've proposed. Our people don't need to go out of state with issues and everything. Why do they need to spend their dollars out of state? Why do their loved ones have to go out of state? You know, we need to do that. And we need to address the entire problem. Now let me end by saying just this. I've proposed almost like a buyer's fee or a construction fee or a severance fee or whatever it may be on all the successful bidders to all the road work that I've got out there that's in the process of being able to be able to do. That 5% on $2.4 billion worth of road work instantly puts into a bucket $120 million. Now, how that bucket is to do one thing, and that is to stop or greatly curb this drug epidemic that's killing us. Now, how we do that, how we dispense that $120 million is surely argumentative in lots of ways. It could be compensation. It could be more workers. It could be more of your staff. It could be, it could be treatment facilities. It can be a multitude of different things, but it's a pretty dadgum big bucket. And that's what we're going to have. I mean, say what you want, but we're going to have a big bucket to fix a big problem. And if we don't fix a big problem, there's nothing else we can do in this state, because it will ruin everything that we have in every way. It will stop everything, and you know it. You know what you're dealing with every day. So I'm trying to create a big bucket without it coming out of our pockets and everything to fix a big problem. Now, I mean this when I say, and I'll shut up, I love you, and I appreciate you, and I'm with you. I've always been there. And you won't have to double back and check on me. I won't change. I'm there. So, it's an honor for me to be here. And I'm humbled. And so, now, I'm through running my mouth unless y'all want to ask me some questions, and I'll answer anything you want to ask. Okay, now come on now. Somebody ask something. Come on.
Come on, Sarge. You always have a question.
Fire away.
Well, we'd like to have obviously more people, obviously, and I think that's how we're going to do better if we're strengthening numbers, obviously.
Sure.
With a comparative wage to keep them instead of losing them to other agencies.
Right.
Would be of help.
Right. Well, that's why I think, in all honesty, throwing a few $100,000 at a major elephant epidemic is not going to get the job done. There's an old saying, and I got to be a little careful about this, but being concerned about the rat pellets when there's elephant dupe all around us isn't probably the way to think. I mean, that's just all there is to it. So in this situation, we can't go elephant hunting with a pea shooter, and you do need people, and they do need compensated fairly, and that's why this bucket can start. Honestly, it's amazing how this can happen. This bucket could start in no time, in just months. I mean, and we'd be off and going. And then as we do more, the bucket just gets bigger. It's not like the bucket's going to, stop. Really and truly, that's all the road jobs that are on the books. But as we bring more engineering completion and everything else, the bucket gets replenished. And so all of a sudden now you have a means and a way to attack a problem that's enormous. Why don't you ask something, sir?
Well, I'd like to inform you that for decades, the Parkersburg detachment of the West Virginia State Police have done an outstanding job. The issues that they've encountered over the past 25 years is there used to be a federal law enforcement presence in Wood County, and there isn't that now. So the state police have had to absorb that work, and their resources have not increased with the federal decrease.
Yeah.
So they should, obviously, I always commend them for Sergeant Marshall for a job well done, but they need assistance. So I'm so supportive of if we can get the state police up to, if we can get them up their 56 positions over the next 48 months, it'll be a blessing for the people of Wood County.
Well, your story just vibrates all over the state all the time. It's the same story. It's the same story all the time. And you got to remember, I'm new to the job. I didn't create the mess. But it just continues to echo all over the place. And the $64 question is, why hasn't someone done something? Why have we just elected to kick a can down the road so that our politicians can get reelected, and nobody's done anything? And all we've done is just gotten weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And so, trust me, I'm going to do something, and I'm going to really try to fix the problem. And we'll get those positions back. And they'll be, and we'll get them back before 48 months. Gosh, I can't imagine 48 months. All I can see is 10 months down the road. And I've done that forever in my businesses. I tell my, people in my businesses would know that's a very common saying of mine. I can't see beyond 10 months. And I can see 10 months and unbelievable changes and unbelievable progress, and then we'll look at the next 10 months. But we can get this done. Pastor, you've got to have a question about something.
Yes, I do. Not really a question, but a confession.
Okay.
I'm born and raised in West Virginia, over from Grafton. Was a Beckley for a number of wonderful years and came to the position I am now. And I manage 450 Baptist churches. And we've sat on the sidelines all these years and said religion and politics don't mix. That's not true. And I've been talking to pastors. And we've got these churches, great facilities, good volunteers, and have started probably 4 new recovery programs here in Wood County. There's no reason we can't start all over the state of West Virginia. It's free, trained counselors to deal with addicts. And I'm here today to say, Governor, we want to help you. We want to get on your side. We want to help you any way we can. And I'm starting to organize different groups of ministers to do that. We've got the facilities, we've got the people, we just sit there and talk about being a victim. I'm tired of that. We need to be victors, and we need to change society. We talk about it, but we talk a really good game, but we play a lousy game. Yeah. And coach us through, Coach.
Well, I tell you, that's isn't it wonderful? And this great man has been an unbelievable part of my life forever. I knew nothing about what he was going to say until he just said it. But isn't it wonderful when somebody can come up with, not only do they want to help, but somebody come up with a novel idea and an approach that really genuinely, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. But most great ideas are so simple, but nobody ever thinks about them. But that's a great idea. And I really, really would love to assist and help in any way I possibly can. That is a wonderful, wonderful idea. I commend you many times, because like I said, most of the great ideas are dang, I should have thought of that, but boy, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. You should ask something. This beautiful lady is sitting right in front of me. I came all the way up here just to talk to you.
Yeah, I was just excited to meet you.
Oh, let's don't get carried away now. I'm just as excited to meet you. But You can ask me anything. Now, if you've got some question,
I don't, sir. I just can't think of anything. I'm just honored that you're here.
well,
I'm a proud West Virginia native, and I love the state, and I'm really happy about all the things you want to do for us.
well,
I'm looking forward to it.
listen, here, here's something, and this is off the subject a little bit, not much, but a few nights ago, our president addressed us all, in Congress, and when he did, if you just listen to his points of what he made, and I challenge you to think, I sat there and listened, and I thought, I know the Trump family really well, and they're friends, and I thought, they're getting my stuff. I mean, they're stealing my stuff. That's all there is to it, and you just think about it. He said, we got to think big. He's a Republican that said, we don't really want to cut anything or cut anybody. We don't want to hurt our seniors. We don't want to hurt Social Security or Medicaid. Well, how often does a Republican say that? But is that not just what I've been saying? You can't cut more and cut into the bone and hurt our vets and hurt you people and hurt our seniors and hurt our kids. I mean, have we lost our mind? I mean, really and truly. And then he turned around and said, we need to build roads and infrastructure. And I thought, okay, Donald, now you got to get out of my house. That's all there is to it. And then he said, and we got to think about America first and everything. And I've been saying till I'm blue-green, we've got to think about West Virginia first, And then, I think about the vehicle and the way we're going to get to where we're going to get to, and that is one of the biggest things is to enable us as West Virginians to drive on our toll roads for free. And the idea came up and came from my people and everything. I can't take credit for this one, but said, we're going to call that program Mountaineers Are Always Free. And, and with that, basically what we're saying is Donald was saying he wants America to be first. I want to say I want West Virginia to be first. And then he said, let's all be united. He said Democrats, and he looked right at them and he said, we need to be in this together. And I've said 1,000,000 times over, I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or independent. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter, And so, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm looking around, where are the bugs? Because he's stealing my stuff. But I guess the comical thing or absurdity of this whole thing is just this. Isn't it really bizarre that the leader of the free world is a Republican, and our Republicans within our state can't even hear what he's saying? I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. They're much more in tune with Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi and slowing down and just not doing anything and kicking the can. And I'm thinking, how hypocritical can this possibly be? It's almost like, in some ways, the story, first you believe in Santa, then you don't. Before you know it, you are Santa. Well, it's like they have just transformed from being Republicans to being, Washington politicians. And Donald is trying to reach out to both sides, not cut to seniors, develop our highways, grow our way out of this mess, think really big, unite us, not divide us. And that's what I've been saying forever and ever and ever. Exactly the same thing. Now, we're different in a lot of ways, don't get me wrong. I'm a lot more humble, a lot more humble. But really and truly, we got to think about this whole thing just the way that it's been presented to our people of our nation and the way I'm presenting it to the people of the state. We can get there, and this state can be really good. Really, really, really good. You just think about just this. For 4.5 cents, we got it down now to 4.5 cents on gasoline, and a $20 increase in our DMV fee, and the ability for all of us basically that want to drive on our toll roads, they pay $8 and they go for free. We can create 48,000 new jobs. 48,000 new jobs. You imagine what that's going to do?
Wow.
For crying out loud, we can stop the drug epidemic and create 48,000 jobs all at one time. Poof, that fast. Not forever, I mean poof. And do you know what that 48,000 jobs is going to do? The multiplier effect of that is going to create more and more and more and more. Here we go. Here we go. We can fix the education. There's so many different things we can do. It's right at our fingertips for next to nothing. Now, I don't make light of 4.5 cents or $20. I don't make light of that. But I'm telling you, if we don't do that, I mean, today, the Republicans come out and they say, well, here's what we'd like to do. We'd like to, and I'm going to forget a bunch of them, but we'd like to eliminate the courtesy patrol. We'd like to not do the teacher's raise. You know, we'd like to eliminate our dog tracks. You know, it's just one thing right after another, you know, and after you get through all that, if you take out, I put $105 million in the budget for economic growth, tourism promotion, all that kind of stuff. Then I said, no, don't do that. Do 35, 35, and 35. And so I took 70 out of mine. Well, they took the whole 105. So basically, we don't promote ourselves, we don't develop commercial sites, we don't do anything. But if you take that away, they came up with $135 million worth of cuts, and I told you exactly what the kind of stuff we're talking about. You know, basically, then they're going to say, this is almost like Jeffro Bodine when his girl dumped him and he's standing by the cement pond and he's got an anvil in his hand and a chain tied to his leg, and Jed walked up and said, Jeffro, what's going on? And Jeffro said, I'm going to drop this anvil in the cement pond and drown myself because my girl done dumped me. And Jed said, well, Jeffro, what good's that going to do you? And he went, Pert and I made a mistake, didn't Uncle Jed? Well, you know, the bottom line of the whole thing is their cuts that are going to hurt people are $135 million. We got $500 million in the hole. What's it going to be next? What's it going to be next? You know, it's going to get so hideous, and I would ask just this is, think about it. If you close our dog tracks, are more people going to come to West Virginia? Of course they're not. You know, less people are going to come. You know, if you take away Promise Scholarship or you close 3 or all of our universities other than Marshall and WVU, you think more people are going to come or not? More people are going to leave. And as they leave, revenues go down more. As they go down more, you're still turning around and there's still got a deficit. As you turn around, the next thing that's going to happen, and God bless you, I'm not kidding you, you'll awaken to the fact that there'll be half of you, not an attainable staff that is responsible and can get the job done. We're not even there now, but it'll get ridiculous, and we will spin then into no man's land, and we can't do that. We just can't do that. That's all there is to it. I mean, this situation, these people got to wake up, and we got to get this done, and we can get it done. That's the thing. It's right at our fingertips, and we're going to get it done. They may not like me before it's over, but we're going to get it done. Okay, I'm leaving you unless you got something else. Pastor, you came up with the best idea of the day.
Yeah, well, then we can talk
I've
in.
got 2 or 3 others, but,
Well, hold them. You don't want to just throw them out all at once.
yeah, I don't want to play all my cards at once, yes, sir.
No, that's a great idea. A great idea. You could mound a real grassroots effort there that would change a lot of lives, that's for sure. A ton of lives. Okay, I'm gone. Thank y'all.